Hello, friend. My name is Kerry Farr. I'm the founder and the owner of TKO Concrete Coatings in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, we're based in Nashville, Tennessee, but we service the entire southeastern United States. And today I want to talk to you about different types of concrete coatings or different types of concrete flooring systems that you can use. There are a host of different applications. The first one, and probably the most simple, is an acid stain. Now, when you stain concrete, the first thing that you got to do is you got to come in and get whatever junk's on the floor off. If there's a coating there, glue, dirt, grit, whatever it might be, we come in and mechanically grind that floor with a walk-behind grinder and a HEPA vacuum system, TKO Concrete. So then what we do is we color that floor, and then on the acid stain colors, there's a host of colors that you can use. You can get 40 or 50 different colors. But after we stain the floor, what we do is you can't leave the stain by itself because it'll walk right off. What you have to do is seal the floor, and a lot of companies put a sealer down, and we 10 or 12 years ago used to use sealer, but we found out that sealer just doesn't hold up. So after we stain a floor, we put a clear coat of 100% solids epoxy, and then we come back and put a coat of urethane or polyaspartic on top. Those two items are UV stable, and it keeps the color from fading. So that's basically what we do with a stained floor. Now, the thing about stained concrete is that it's translucent. So if you have imperfections in the floor, if you have cracks or holes or whatever the case may be, since stained concrete is translucent, you're going to see the imperfections underneath the coating, and a lot of people call that character. It's really a distressed look, but it's a very good looking floor, but there's some applications that you won't want to use a stained concrete on because of the fact that it's translucent. Well, the next step up is an epoxy coating. Now, as I mentioned, we put clear epoxy on top of a stained floor, but epoxy comes in 40 or 50 different colors. Heck, if you want, we can even get you an orange epoxy. I did some juice, some juice bars here in Nashville, Tennessee, and they had a red floor, and my manufacturer made it up and called it a TKO red. And so we would put that red floor down in every one of their stores. Now, so you can get all types of solid epoxy colors. And here's a chart just to show you some of the colors that are available in a solid epoxy. Now, what you can do is when you put a solid epoxy floor down, you can do it in colors, but sometimes for a little while until you walk on it and wear it, it's a little bit slippery. So what some folks opt to do is to put down what they call an epoxy flake floor. And what we do with an epoxy flake floor is we put the epoxy down, and then we would broadcast these flakes into it. This one's 100% flakes, and we would put that on the floor, and then we put a coat of urethane or polyaspartic on top of that, and it gives you not a non-slip floor, but kind of an anti-slip floor, and it's a decorative look, and it also comes in numerous colors, as you can see. Now, if you want to go a step higher, we can do what's called a quartz floor. Now, this is an epoxy quartz floor. And you see, basically what you would do here is you would put this yellow epoxy down. And some people want like a safety yellow or a safety red on their floor. And, this might be in a shop floor, whatever the case might be. And then these little, specks that you see there this is a quartz sand that has been broadcast to failure into the coating and then top coated with urethane. And that gives you a very durable floor. And you can also see that it's a very thick floor, so it lasts a long, long time. Now, the problem with epoxy, and it's not a problem unless you're in an area where there's thermal shock. Epoxy is great for shops airplane hangars, malls, shopping centers, garages, even commercial garages. But if you're in a food and beverage environment and you have thermal shock, you're washing the floor down with hot water, or it's a cold environment, the epoxy does not hold up well to thermal shock, and it will fail and delaminate. Now, if you're not in that type of an environment, an epoxy is absolutely fine. But if you are, we do a lot of food and beverage manufacturing plants and a lot of restaurant kitchen floors. And what we use in those environments is a urethane cement. Now, what this is, or it's a urethane concrete, it's a three-part product, has a resin and a hardener and then an aggregate. And when we put, I'm trying to get that into the light where you can see it a little better. And again, this is about a 1/4 inch floor. When we put this floor down, we actually hand trowel it just like we would concrete. Don't worry about that call. It looks like it's the president. Call me. I'll call him back when we're the president, Trump. We'll call him back when we're through here. But anyway, this will give you, like 50 or 60 degrees warmer. Well, it'll go up to about 220 degrees before it has any problems. So that's why you want to use an epoxy quartz floor. It's a wonderful floor. Now, one other type of epoxy floor, the urethane cement is not an epoxy. It's a urethane concrete. But there is another type of epoxy floor that's relatively new that is called a metallic floor. And basically what you do with a metallic floor is you take a clear epoxy and then you take a metallic powder and mix in that epoxy. And after you prep your floor, you roll out the epoxy, and that metallic will basically run like a river, and it'll put all kinds of interesting designs on the floor. And it's a really good looking floor and comes in, 40 or 50 colors as well. So those are all epoxy. Now, if you wanted to do a custom color quartz floor, basically what you do is you take a clear epoxy and then you take a custom colored blended sand and broadcast into that wet epoxy, and it'll give you, a good looking floor like this. Now, the sand is really expensive, so this particular floor is more expensive than the others, but it comes in, again, a host of colors. So those, there's about 12 or 15 flooring applications you can do in whatever your environment is. Now, if you would like someone to help you decide what to use on the floor, I'd be happy to help you. I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee, but we serve the southeastern United States, and we do all types of commercial and industrial floors, and we would be happy to help you. My name is Kerry, and my phone number is 615-414-3727. Thank you so much for watching the video today, and we'll look forward to seeing you down the road.